Whoop, whoop. We live, baby. We are live. What is going on, everybody? It's Mimosa Monday. Oh, my God, y'all. I forgot my drink. Oh, my God. I've been so busy today. I forgot my drink. I had it all picked out and everything. Like, y'all got to forgive me. Might be a sober Monday. It's okay, though. You know, we can have one. Just one sober Monday, though. This ain't gonna happen again next week. We'll give it about one more minute. We'll do some shout outs and then get the show on the road. Definitely want to do some shouting out since I haven't seen y'all. I feel like it ain't been forever. We just missed one Mimosa Monday last week because I wasn't feeling well at all. And I said I made a post about it. And thank you all, by the way, for your well wishes. My neck and my back has been it's not only been bothering me for the last couple of weeks, but actually the last couple of months, to the point where it can be debilitating a lot of the times. And unfortunately, this past week was one of those weeks. And my doctor was on vacation for 2 months. Yeah, so but recently, and I know probably some of y'all could tell, it was just I was laboring in a lot of my videos, and people brought it up. It's because of that. It was very difficult to talk even a lot of times. I couldn't even turn my neck to look at the screen without being in pain. So, but with that being said, let's do some shout outs. Gundam Jock 193. Yo, Trump is running in 2024? Probably. I never know what that man gonna do. Jerry Lynn, what's going on? Made JFK seem progressive. Like, hold up, you might not be on them wrong. You might not be on the right page. Because I don't know if you want to call him progressive, but JFK was definitely a man who tried to fight against the machine, because you don't get assassinated for being on the side of the machine. So there's that. Danny Trujillo, what's going on? I'm gonna sneak a game of Among Us and before nigga pops up right quick. I've still never played that game. I probably won't either. I like for my games to be in 3D, but I understand some people like that type of stuff. Fuzzy Slippers, what's going on? Yasmin, what's up? Anthony, make sure y'all like this video and share this video, everybody. I know we starting a little late today. We're gonna get a little different crowd in here today. Y'all are getting, bro, my day, well, really my whole weekend, but really today has been crazy. I've been trying to figure out what's been going on, because like for some reason my computer was moving. I don't know if you would call it slow, but basically it was laboring to do a lot of the tasks, including obviously like streaming and recording and things like that. And so I had to troubleshoot and literally completely erase everything off my computer, reinstall everything to try to figure out what was going on. Then I was having some streaming issues with Rockfin, and that finally got taken care of. But basically, that's what I've been trying to get taken care of all day. And then playing catch up. My team is sick. Shout out to Positive, Fiorella, and Johnny. I hope y'all feel better. They got COVID. You know, but they're on the road to recovery right now. They're feeling much, much better. In fact, Pasta's eating a pizza as we speak. So no stress. They're all good. They'll be back on the camera shortly. Fiorella was actually on Crosstalk this morning. So that's good. Cool, good. Glory, what's up? Glory, you gonna be on the vigil tomorrow? Let me know. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be on the Assange tomorrow. Yo, Niko, you think the defund the police is a bad slogan? Are you gonna interview all Lives Matter crew? That's funny. I just had a conversation about that yesterday in my interview. No, I don't think it's a bad slogan. I think it does what it's intended, and I don't mind interviewing all Lives Matter crews at all. I feel like most people know that about me. If there is one thing you can say about me, you know, I ain't no punk. I just ain't no punk, y'all. Y'all know that. But in all seriousness, I like interviewing the other side, because I was just listening to Matthew McConaughey's interview with Time Magazine, and he was talking about there can be no unity without confrontation, because in order to have confrontation, you have to acknowledge he used a very specific word. You have to validate. There you go. Validate the other side, right? To engage them in an argument. But what we see today in most discourse is we can't have any unity, because the moment that someone disagrees with you, then that person becomes persona non grata, and you don't want anything to do with them. And so that, like, it would be, I don't care about interviewing All Lives Matter people. In fact, I would prefer to. I love interviewing people I disagree with. Y'all do know that about me. But no, I don't think that that defund the police is a bad slogan. And the reason why is because of what I explained yesterday, which is you have to understand the intention of the slogan, which is to be somewhat purposely inflammatory and absolute, so that you ask, why would you want to do something that's so extreme? Why do we have to take such grandiose measures in order to do something like that? Like, why is the problem? Now, the issue on that side is, now if you use that slogan, and obviously a lot of people do, but if you use that slogan, you better come correct, right? Because it could turn into a horrible slogan really fast if you don't know what you're talking about. Like, I feel, and of course, like, you can't be expert in all things, but you got to have your ammo ready. Like, for me, when somebody asks me, why do you say defund the police, and I explain to them things like 50% of LAPD, being funded, City Hall spends 50% of their budget, or the city does, of LA spends 50% of their budget on LAPD, not City Hall. Well, I mean, I guess them too, but and you talking about what happened with Breonna Taylor, where Breonna Taylor was murdered by cops. The AG stepped in, pretended as if the jury said they were innocent and did not deserve to be prosecuted, when that was a lie. It was not true, right? And we come to find out that the cops were part of a special unit that was specifically created to gentrify that community. And basically, they did their job. They were created and paid to do their job, and that's why they weren't being punished for it. So you have to ask, what's the point of cops? Is it to protect the 99%? Are they funded to protect the 99%? Or are they funded to protect the 1%? And basically the property owning class. And when you start getting into those details, now all of a sudden the conversation is no longer about defunding the police. It's about how fucked up the police are. Now the conversation isn't about just Black Lives Matter. It's about how fucked up the police are. Right? I tell people the story about how Kamala kept an innocent man in jail because the investigation that came out was that not only was he innocent, but cops framed him and pretended as if he had attempted to shoot at them. So now you have a situation where dirty cops are involved. And so if it came out that those cops had not been prosecuted, then it's a big problem for everybody. So in other words, that Democrat is working with the Blue Lives Matter crowd. They're on the same team to screw over now a white man. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I tell people, I'm like, yeah, we're affected by policing institutions in a unique way. That's what we're acknowledging. That's what we're fighting against. But that we're also a symptom of the policing institution. You know that y'all got to deal with it too, right? And when you start getting to that detail, people begin to listen. Now, defund the police is not about the slogan. It's about why we feel like we have to go through such extreme measures. But if you don't come correct, if you don't have your information, then it's a horrible slogan. If you ain't got examples, if you don't know it, you know what I'm saying? Like, it becomes a horrible slogan at that point. So, but good little warm-up question to get us squared away. Gray Walker, what's up? Oh, glory, damn, bro. Are we ever gonna be able to do? I'll go on slow news day then. You know what? I gotta bring on Steve soon anyway, so I'll have the whole slow news day team on there. How about that? I gotta have both of y'all now, because y'all a thing now. By the way, right now we are live on Rockfin and the Tubes. case you're curious. Who else we got? McCracy. Oh, I always say McCracy. Why y'all let me do that? It's Mocracy. And I laugh every time I say McCracy because I just really want to say McCracy. It looks like it would be a really nice name. Defund mainstream media. Yeah. I mean, yeah, defund mainstream media because it's funded straight up defense contractors 100%. Fund TYT. Oh, I was about to, whoop, Lord, baby, Jesus. And what you mean? You can't defund MSM and then fund TYT considering TYT is mainstream media. It's kind of oxymoron. Old ass hot Steve. There you go. Old ass hot guy Steve. Yeah. Nom nom yum. What's going on? What's going on? My neck and my back. Isn't that from a movie? Was it from? No. Yeah, it is. Oh yeah. It's true. It's from Friday, but also from a song. Most people keep saying the song. You little perverted asses. Man, hey, y'all mind if I be right back? I want to make myself a drink. You mind if I be right back? I'm just really also thirsty, but it's most of Monday, man. I just don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, where my cup at, y'all? I have not taken a sip of anything on this beautiful Monday on camera, and I feel like a little weird about it. So, like, give me like 1 minute. You know, it ain't gonna take me long to make the drink, but just stay tuned real quick. Y'all gonna look at this TV real quick. And I'll be right back, all right? Hold up. We back. Y'all know what this is? Who can guess what this is? By the way, I know next Monday it's the holidays, so we coming with, and it's not only is it the holidays, but we in MIA, so we coming with that coquito next Monday. For those of y'all who know what time it is, whiskey and coke, close, rum and coke. Good God Almighty, bro! Clearly, Armageddon is happening upstairs in my fucking apartment building, but whatever, I guess. Who said that? Captain and Coke. Mickey! Man, Mickey, I ain't even never seen you in here before. You got it right first try. See, first of all, Mickey an alcoholic. That's what that means. Mickey an alcoholic because how you see the exact color and type of rum it was. You ain't just say rum and Coke. It could have been Bacardi. It could have been whiskey. It could have been Hennessy. I'm black. You know what I'm saying? Maybe people just assume I drink Hennessy, even though I hate Hennessy. Could have been. He said specifically Captain Morgan and Coke. So either Mickey is a CIA or he's an alcoholic. Which I guess if you're the CIA, most people in the CIA are alcoholics, but whatever.
Grey Walker said it was Crown Neat. Did you not see the ice?
Oh, that's true. Yeah. How can it be Crown Neat if there's ice in it? I'm a pirate. All right. Oh, shit, I forgot to share this to Reddit. I know my Reddit fam loves coming in. Let me go ahead and make sure they know. Go read the show. Damn. Hold up. You have enough room to get up? Room to get up? No? Probably not? Okay, that's fine. I'll be right back. I gotta go. I'll drink my shit kind of fast. It's good, man. Coke and, bruh. Captain Morgan and Coke is so refreshing. It's such a refreshing drink. Dude, the CIA drug test. The CIA drug test on the first day, man. Come on, y'all know better than that. Y'all know better than that. Oh man, get the show on the road, people. So, what is up, everybody? It is Monday, and although it is a little later on in the evening, it's probably more appropriate. It is Mimosa Monday, but usually we go at 11 a.m. But today, because I was busy and had a lot of stuff going on, I moved it. But I was like, I gotta do this Mimosa Monday today because I didn't get to see y'all last week. I miss y'all so much. Ain't been able to live stream because my computer been crazy, my power going crazy, man. Like, it's just, this December has just been wild. Like, but we are here, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you all so much for being here. Mimosa Monday is indeed an Ask Me Anything session. Ask me anything. In other words, we talk about everything here, of course. Politics, of course. People ask sports, usually it's glory. Talk about hip hop, mushrooms, a lot of mushroom talk. Anything. We are live right now on YouTube. We're also live on Rockfin Premium. And of course, if you want to support the show, you can do so by scanning that little QR code and becoming a Rockfin Premium member. Beautiful thing that Rockfin just added. Y'all, Rockfin got super chats. Good. RP YouTube. Because, boy, I don't know how much longer y'all going to see me on here. I mean, they're going to probably kick me off soon anyway. But, like, Rockfin got super chats. And, if I'm being real, like, Whitney Webb's there. TL, Last American Vagabonds there. My people at Slow News there. Y'all know the Convo Couch there. Graham there. Ron there. Jimmy there. Kim there. Lee Camp's there now. Bro, Richie Medhurst there. Bro, we deep. We all right. We good. We about to chuck up these deuces to YouTube. Shout out to Rockfin, boy. They done fucked around and got super chats. And not only can you tip during live streams, but you can also tip at, like, for pre-posted videos. So where videos are just posted and not live. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. Glory went to Rockfin just to say fuck YouTube. Glory, did you mess up my live stream? You better not mess up my live stream, Glory. I'll be mad. Okay. Because when you tip, it just froze for a second. All right. I was like, what? Much love, Glory. I appreciate you. All my Rockfin Premium peeps. Much love to you guys. But yeah, that's just a fantastic feature. Very simple, especially if you're already a Rockfin Premium member. It just has your information already there, so you can choose. Once again, it's just the best. Rockfin is the best way to support the show. And all of the content creators on Rockfin. And listen, when I tell you all the content creators on Rockfin, it's like on the political side, they'll tell you Rockfin is the best way to support them as well. So love Rockfin. I like Odyssey too. Really like Odyssey. YouTube can EAD, but we're here. So I guess we'll make the most of it until we pass everybody up on Rockfin because they're getting there. So we had a couple of questions before we got started. I answered the one about defund the police. Cops are getting out of control, by the way. Cat83 asked thoughts on MAGA wanting to use martial law to enact military tribunals to get voting machines. To get voting machines. Do you mean to remove voting machines? Cat. So the reason I can't answer that is because I don't want the CIA to come to my home. So if you're saying to remove voting machines, I just leave it at I support efforts to remove voting machines from anybody. I don't really care who it is. Bro, y'all know that's how it's good, bro. That's like an involuntary. Y'all know it's an involuntary sound I make. If this shit's fire, I just I think I get it from my mom. To be honest with you, it's just a thing. Cause my mom does the same thing. Except she goes Jay Bird, what's up on Rockfin? I see you over there, my guy. My bird, my parrot. Somebody said for the price of that drink, you could have donated $4 to TYT. Guess you aren't about serious. Oh man, I don't know. You know what's crazy? The price of the drink that I could drink to make me forget TYTs exist. I don't know what the price is, but it's a lot. I would pay a lot of money for any drink that can make me forget TYT ever existed. I'm telling you. Niko's shirt looks like something Jazz from Fresh Prince would wear. Probably, you know, all fashion does come back around. Invite Jimmy. You know, it's funny. I was thinking about inviting Jimmy the other day. I texted him the other day. But you know, we just randomly talk shit about how bad Democrats and most of the independent media is. But yeah, I'm probably gonna have Jimmy. I got a lot of people. I need to get Jimmy back on. I need to get Lee Camp back on. The Convo fan back on. Me and Richie's gonna come back on soon. I'm also gonna go on Richie's channel soon. I got Steve and Glory from Slow News Day coming on. I talked to Steve about it. Glory just found out like 10 minutes ago. Red Sea Socialist, what's up? I just made Red Sea Socialist a moderator because, well, me and Steve are in a secret competition to take each other's moderators, and so he took Glory when I made her after I made her a moderator. So now I got Red Sea Socialist. Now what? Where we at? What's good? Yo, move, Steve. I might even start holding moderator discussions like you. Might do moderator streams like you do, bro. What's good? Shout out to Slow News Day, man. Y'all go check out Slow News Day. They had like 100 people watching their stream yesterday. I love to come up. I love they coming up even through the suppression. Because they talking that real. Love it. Bethlehem. Damn, my phone fell out of the chair. So happy that Bethlehem in the building. Enjoyed the interview with Teodros. He's the second Ethiopian journalist I've been introduced to by you. You were very welcome. Who was the first? I must have forgot. I mean, I'm glad. I'm very glad. I'm happy, but I definitely forgot. When is this happening? Glory, I don't know when it's happening. I gotta check with your schedule because you just found out. Who knows? Hopefully I can make it work. Because I know that you and Steve got weird ass schedules. And y'all on the West Coast and you're in school supposedly. I don't know when you're ever actually doing school work or in class or managing your basketball team. Anyway, that's a whole different thing. Glory, y'all know Glory is got like that. You know that spell that Hermione used whenever she was in like 15 different places at once? That's what Glory be doing. It was a good mod show, Mickey. Their show was awesome yesterday. It sucks what happened to Whitney Webb, man. Somebody stole $10,000 worth of Ray token from her. It's messed up, man. Last American Vagabond, Ryan Christensen, said, say, what kind of evil human being steals from a single mother? Right before Christmas too, bro. It's messed up, bro. It really is. Anthony Reyes, what's going on? What's going on? I might steal Anthony too, Steve, while you're watching. Steve went straight to my chat and to all my people that I put him on. See, man, look, this is why I don't like. No, I'm just kidding. Y'all, Steve my dog, man. Steve is my dog. Listen, me and Steve had so many conversations. Like, whenever I go on his show, of course, whenever he comes on mine, whenever I go on his show, every time, bro, Steve is dope. Steve is a different kind of dude, man. Y'all go check out Slow News Day for real. What's up here? We need critical thinking. Hi, Niko. Appreciate you and all you do. I periodically go post on Jordan Sheridan's chats and comments, sort of defending you and to give him debate and discuss with you. He said he would. Oh, he would debate and discuss. Oh, I mean, debate me about what though? I mean, not that I wouldn't debate him. I would gladly, gladly debate him. But he said that he wasn't going to validate us because somebody brought it up, not just about like, I guess they tweeted at him, but they brought it up not only including me, but the Convo Couch as well, because he was trash talking the Convo Couch. And when instead of like arguing the points logically and factually, he just gaslighted and said that we aren't worth his time. I'm not going to validate them, blah, 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 blah. Like, bro, chill out. The only reason you got your initial following is because of TYT. Then you got cut from the team. You couldn't get a following, so you had to go kiss Jimmy Dore's ass to even get back to 3,000. And you just kept going on Jimmy Dore right after you threw Jimmy under the bus for supporting Tulsi. The only reason people remember who you are is because you had to keep going on Jimmy to make them forget how shitty of a person he was. So there's that. But it's neither here nor there. Why am I seeing my super chats later than you? What does it say? Oh, it's Bethlehem again? Yeah, I did that one. Anthony said, bruh, Jordan calling MCSC grifters while man's literally going ham every day doing telethon. Bro, why everybody keep saying he's doing telethons? Bro, I'm telling you, I've seen like 20 separate people specifically use the phrase telethon. They said to pay for his wedding. Man, I guess, you know what's funny? Because Jordan got brought on to Rockfin actually pretty early, but he you know how people be. They want the audience and the success and the growth handed to them. Jordan didn't have to work for his growth. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Jordan goes on the ground and he does reporting. Like, I'm not going to say he don't work, because the dude does work hard. I'm never going to say that about the man. He does. He's always worked hard, even since he was on TYT. However, his growth, his audience from TYT, it was handed to him, right? Okay, cool. His audience, he got booted and he couldn't get nobody to watch. And then he went on Jimmy. So Jimmy's audience was like, oh, I didn't know Jordan was still a thing. So then and then he kissed Bernie's ass. But really that sparked from him being allowed to go back on Jimmy's show despite having that beef with TYT. So he don't really like, his audience was somewhat handed to him in a lot of ways. And he don't know how to grow it organically. And he comes to Rockfin and bullshits, and he ain't find no success. But Whitney Webb is finding a lot of success. Last American Vagabonds find a lot of success. Steve and Slow News Day crew find a lot of success. Convo Couches, killing it. I know we doing all right too. You know what I'm saying? All right. But hey, if he would have, because he'd be quick to YouTube censoring, but you don't want to go nowhere. So you got to fight for what you want, bro. Congratulations on getting married, though. It's fun. But yeah, it's funny. He's calling us grifters after that man lied. I ain't gonna get into it, bro. I'm not gonna get into it. Look, he'll play the game, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. He'll play the game. And if he wants to have this face-to-face discussion with me about anything, because he tried to lie about Tulsi, tried to lie about Fiorella. And you know what's funny? Once again, here we go. Why is it that that Jordan will basically attack Fiorella and won't come at Pasta? And it's because, at least in the Twitter world, well, one, it's because Jordan he just loves condescending to females for some reason. But also, he, in the Twitter world, Fiorella is active and has got more clout and has like 25,000 followers. And so he gets to flex and get responses from people and get his little crew riled up. But Pasta isn't as active on Twitter, even though everybody knows a Convo Couch. And so he won't get as much reaction and people won't feed into it as much of his Pasta stuff, because Fiorella, she don't play. Fiorella will stay up with you for 8 hours and go back and forth. She don't give a fuck. She don't sleep. So Got 2 questions? Where at? Who?
J Money.
J Money. First name, last name. Kamala Harris is annoying as hell. That question? Oh, question. Why does Kamala Harris always laugh at the most important, serious things regarding the safety of American people? Because she has no intention of doing any important or serious things regarding the safety of American people. And she knows everybody knows it. And she don't want to keep reminding people that you're not going to do that. She's like, damn it. I knew they were going to ask this question. I don't want to remind everybody why everybody hated me and I had to drop out the race. But also, it's her shadow self. It's her shadow. Her inner being, her conscious is coming out and exposing her. She can't help it. She can't help it. She really can't. This is a whole different conversation, but nobody wins. Absolutely. Oh, you said nobody wins as a question? Is it right after that? Man, y'all asking questions fast. Hold up. I must have missed it. What's the question?
What do you think about Kevin Samuels and allegedly downgrading black women?
You mean degrading?
Oh, he put downgrading.
Oh. Oh, what do you think about Kevin? I do not know who Kevin Samuels is. I know I'm bad with names. You gotta give me a description of this person. Glory, he never goes at pasta. Just one thing that you will notice about Jordan. Jordan doesn't go after white men. Not white male leftists. Why would he? Jordan knows he can play white guy. Because think about it. Has Jordan really been held accountable for what he's done in the past? Not gonna go into all that stuff. But for those of you who know what Jordan is guilty of and all the things that the scumbag he's been, has he really ever been held accountable for it? No, not really. Not in any way that matters. In fact, he ended up winning a lawsuit for getting fired, or at least, he won a settlement for getting fired in a situation where he absolutely deserved to be fired in. So he got rewarded for being an absolute chauvinist scumbag and a fucking snake. Because, like, low-key, he was doing TYT wrong, too, on top of that. Yeah, I remember that credit card swiping issue he had. Just couldn't stop swiping that shit. But he won't go out the pasta publicly. Why? Because he knows he's only protected really by his white male shield. Like, that's all Jordan has. He went after Jimmy, but he wouldn't mention Jimmy's name directly, but he quoted Jimmy. This was a thing because that's when Pasta started going in on Jordan on video, because he started attacking Jimmy. But bro, what about Jordan, old cameraman dude was straight per? Man, look, that whole situation was sticky. I don't know his cameraman person. I don't know personally anything about him because I just don't know him. But I do know what Jordan's did, and whatever happened to H.A. Goodman, how did he become a huge Trump supporter? Because he just absolutely despised because of how much he was attacked for just telling the truth about the Clintons. And so eventually he just became jaded. Man. It's because the left failed him. That's how I feel about it. Whenever people ask me, how did this person become a Trump supporter? Because the left failed him. We can't expect everyone to deal with the type of resentment that HA had received just for telling the truth about the Clintons. And he was right more often than not about the Clintons. And so eventually he just said, well, I'll go where I'm at least wanted. So I can still tell the truth about the Clintons, but at least in the Democratic Party and some of the establishment Republicans. But so I can at least not feel like wake up every day being bombarded. And I understand it. I mean, I don't agree with it. Obviously I don't support Trump, but I have a stronger ecosystem of support, right? Because despite what any leftist or progressive would tell you, or populist even, because even I text some of my conservative populist friends, and we text on a regular basis because we all try to we have to keep each other sane and remind ourselves that we're not crazy for questioning common sense shit that aligns with the facts. So, I think the left failed him. It wasn't the other way around. He tried to bring so much attention to shit and people ignored him. And he was right. He was right about the Steele dossier, obviously. I mean, he was right about Russiagate, obviously. He was right about how they would try to prop up Hillary or the closest thing to her during this election. He was right that they would cheat Trump. He's been predicting that they would cheat Trump a while now. But yeah, so.
Yeah.
What's the question?
Does Niko got any plans on interviewing Tulsi before the year ends?
Do I have any plans on interviewing Tulsi before the year ends? No, not before the year ends. She's in the process of transitioning back to Hawaii out of DC and simultaneously transitioning to California. I'm gonna try to get on Nina. Oh, by the way, it's Nina's birthday. I heard she just turned 29 years old. So, happy birthday, Nina. Auntie! I know you sipping on something right now. I know what you're sipping on, but I know you're a God-fearing woman, but just drink that wine. Just drink that wine. So I'm gonna take a little sip for Auntie Nina. Y'all go wish her happy birthday on Twitter. Yeah, Nina just turned 29. You know what I'm saying? She look like it. She look like it. She got energy like it. She got more energy than I do. Shit. What's up?
Nobody wants to ask another question.
Jordan Allen, happy birthday to Nina Turner. Absolutely.
He's asking if is Mayweather going to beat Jake Paul?
Mayweather gonna beat the shit out of Jake Paul. That's not gonna be pretty. This isn't like Nate Robinson, y'all. If y'all saw that fight, Nate Robinson didn't have a chance. And also, he kind of got set up because for those of you who don't understand boxing, Nate Robinson they say he's 5'7", he's not 5'7". Nate Robinson's about 5'6", maybe 5'6.5". If he has like tall boots on, then maybe 5'7". Jake Paul, or excuse me, was it Logan? No, Jake. Yeah, Jake Paul is 6'1" and has 12 pounds on Nate Robinson. In no world of fighting, outside of an exhibition match that's just for goofy, like just for goof shit, no world would that ever be allowed. It's too much. I mean, yeah, the height's already a lot, but like that's not going to determine it. But the weight and the height, bro. Nate Robinson was really never supposed to win that fight, especially without boxing experience. But this is Money Mayweather. But I will tell you this. Them damn Paul brothers, bro, they're evil geniuses. They're evil geniuses. Because you know that Logan Paul is about to get paid, bro. You can get your ass whipped by Mayweather and get paid. He always jokes about that. He's like, I don't know why they hate me. These people fight me and make $25 million. Like, and lose. Mayweather's fighting Logan. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're telling me. Yeah. Mayweather's fighting Logan Paul. Nate Robinson, the retired basketball player, fought Jake Paul. I remember when Nate Robinson in the league, every jump shot he shot from 10 feet in the air. Bro, he really did. Well, he won 2 or 3 dunk contests. Nate Robinson was a goddamn monster. So underrated. Y'all, it's probably I don't know how many people gonna remember this, but Anthony Reyes and Glory. Do y'all remember whenever the Heat were going on that crazy streak that I think the Golden State Warriors ended up setting a record, but they went on the longest streak, or they were about to go on the longest streak, and all they had to do was get past the Bulls, and Nate Robinson lit them the fuck up. I mean, was getting in they ass because Derrick Rose was injured, so Nate Robinson was a starter, bro. So LeBron, everybody's looking at LeBron like, hey, bro, you want to go guard him? Nate Robinson going off. This man LeBron runs over to Kurt Heinrich. Like, hey, man, I got him, bro. Like, on him, like Kurt Heinrich was the reincarnation of Michael Jordan. And the team is looking at LeBron like, boy, if you don't go guard this little nigga. Like, it was hilarious. And they lost that game. They got their asses whipped by the Bulls that game. And Nate Robinson just went in. But they said that the reason that Nate Robinson, even though he could still play 2 or 3 years ago, that he's got booted out the league is because like when you're that small, to be frank, like you don't get to the NBA without being ridiculously confident. And by confident, I mean cocky as hell. Like, yeah, he's humble, but Nate Robinson was like a tough to deal with because he didn't like let himself get walked over by anybody. And he had a chip on his shoulder. Same thing with Isaiah Thomas. But Isaiah like obviously wasn't as problematic, wasn't considered to be that problematic in the locker room. But like they had to constantly remind people of how great they were because they were always getting slighted because of their height. And he could. What was weird is in this guard-driven, like athletically gifted guard-driven league, 3-point driven and centered league, somebody didn't think to make Nate Robinson a super six man. Really? Like that was stupid. I just couldn't believe it, honestly. Imagine if like the cat, not the first time, but like maybe not the second time when they won in 2016, but before whenever Kyrie got injured. Imagine if they had signed Nate Robinson as the Super Six. Things might have went different. They might have actually, the Warriors might have not got a ring until they got KD. Well, Isaiah Thomas had to take 30 shots a night. That's how their offense was set up. Allen Iverson was 6'1", supposedly. He was also a good guy. Allen Iverson was everybody in this world has a different type of energy intelligence. They have the ability to transcend normalcy based off of the parameters of the simulation that we call reality, right? Okay, so Allen Iverson is one of those people. If people have really no idea how like this man shot a free throw, missed it, and all 160 pounds of him runs up to the basketball, the ball after the brick and bangs it on these people's head, gets his own rebound, bangs it. My nephew got more weight on him than Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson was a different type of dude. Like it was crazy. Nobody ever appreciates. I feel like nobody ever really appreciates. Like if you've ever played basketball, then you know just like Allen Iverson's more real than Steph Curry. What's the one thing Steph Curry can do? He's the realest at. Like, and nobody will dispute that. If you ask Curry who's better between him and AI, Curry will tell you it's AI. Because if you tell Curry, go beat Shaq and Kobe. Go give them they were going to be the first undefeated team in the modern NBA on the way to their first ring. They were going to be the first, because it's Shaq and Kobe. They were like, Shaq was averaging like 32 points a game and Kobe was averaging like 28. AI beat Shaq and Kobe virtually by himself, dropped 50 on them. Kobe couldn't do nothing with them. Kobe Bryant, 11-time all NBA team defender. Couldn't do nothing with him. 6'1". If that. $150, $160 soaking wet. Anyway, don't get me started. Have y'all seen this Matthew McConaughey comments? Did y'all see those comments? Matthew McConaughey, who is himself a liberal, came out and said that the Hollywood left has been extremely condescending to conservatives, and that's why there's this this divide, and that it's them. It's them. And he even said that the left, the Democrats, I should say, the Hollywood left, are hypocritical for attacking conservatives for questioning the outcome of the election. Isn't that crazy? I mean, and if Matthew McConaughey said it, then you know that motherfucker, right? Oh! We gonna forget that weird ass moment in history where he talking about high school girls. We gonna forget that one weird moment in Matthew McConaughey's history. Y'all know, if y'all know what scene I'm talking about Days of Confused, when he's like, you know, my favorite thing about high school girls, they keep getting younger, but I stay the same. No, he said I keep getting older, but they stay the same age. Yes, they do. Bro, the most creeper shit ever. But he's just Matthew McConaughey. He cool.
I want you to box Jordan.
They want me to box Jordan? Jordan don't want to box me. Y'all know how tall Jordan is? Jordan is 5'5", 5'6". Y'all, I'm 6. Well, I'm 6.5, but with my shoes on, I'm 6'1". My reach is I've never lost a fight in my life. That's my reach. The only person that hit me there was one person that hit me in my face, but I wasn't looking, so that don't count. But the only person that hit me in the face and straight up, like face to face, is my brother, who is 6'2". And has longer reach than I have. And it was once. And he freaked out because he knew nobody hit me in my face before. It wasn't gonna be pretty. But I mean, yeah. But I gotta box him for money though. I ain't boxing Jordan for free. He don't get that much of my energy for free. I got asthma, y'all. I gotta get in shape, all that good stuff. Everybody, Neo should say, why everybody think I'm small? Do I look small? Do I carry myself like a small person? Or is it because like I don't have like this towering like thing going on? Like, is my voice? Is it because my voice isn't deep? It's rude. Yo, Niko, this guy, I know Vouch, told Tim Pool he's 6'2" when he's clear. Vouch told Tim Pool he's 6'2". Bro, Vouch don't look 6'2" at all. And I don't get me wrong, I know looks can be deceiving, but like, bro, he got 6'2", got a certain type of energy to them. Like, Vouch got Lil Dick 5'11", 5'11" too kind. Like 5'7" energy. He look like he got like Lil Dick and 5'7" energy. Like not just one or the other, but both. That's how he act. Like, I saw how short Ben Shapiro was. Oh my God, bro. Candace Owens is taller than Ben Shapiro. Like, bruh. No wonder that dude's so upset and he don't like Meg Thee Stallion. Meg Thee Stallion will mount and destroy him. No wonder he's so scared of the WAP song. He was having nightmares. Get off me. I don't want the WAP. I don't want the WAP. You know that man can't swim. He drying that pussy. Boy fucking around with Megan Thee Stallion. Get his yarmulke wet, boy. What? What's the question? What's the question? What I missed? About who?
The People's Party.
What's the question?
Thoughts on how successful the People's Party will be. I heard they are officially registered in Maine.
Thoughts on how successful they'll be. I don't know. That will be very much so dependent on them. Like it gotta be a real people's. It gotta be the People's Party. They have to be willing to challenge the issues that no one else is willing to challenge and organize in a way, in a decentralized way, by the way, that no one else has really been willing to do. So far, so good. It's looking pretty good so far. For them to take the steps to actually become an officially registered party, I already registered in Maine. I think they just chose their name, right? People's Party, which I think everybody kind of expected. But yeah, I can't talk about the Great Reset, and the only reason is this is an AMA, it's the president, and that will take way too long. Where's there? Oh, so the active ingredient in shrooms. Thoughts on it for PTSD? Take shrooms for PTSD because it works 100%. It works better than what the fuck are my cats doing? My cats are in the room acting a fool because they mad because my Arnie just woke up, and when Arnie wakes up, he got to be held by his mama. His mama's in here working with me right now, so but mushrooms are the best thing to happen to humanity. Do y'all understand if everybody in humanity did shrooms, not just did them, if we all did them on the exact same day at the exact same time, there would never be another war again. Racism would end. Men would actually realize we're not really all that anything. Women are basically running shit. And if they're not running shit, wherever women, this is dead ass, wherever women aren't running shit, we're fucking it up. So like this is real. You know, y'all wanna hear about my last, because we talking about psychedelics, since we talk about it. Y'all wanna hear about my last shroom trip? Everybody wanna hear about my shroom trip? I know y'all wanna hear about my last shroom trip. So are y'all familiar with the shadow self? Let me see if I can find a good definition of shadow self, because I don't wanna butcher it. The shadow is a side of the personality that contains all the parts of yourself that you don't want to admit to having. At first, it is an unconscious side. It's only through effort. It is only through effort to become self-aware that we recognize the shadow. I mean, yeah, 100%. So the other day, because my back and my neck was hurting, and I was like, and you know, when your back is hurting because of how many nerves you have, it also dramatically affects your mood. So now all my motivation is gone. I'm like, I can't get up out the bed. Like, yeah, I might have a spurt where I feel better, but I still can't get up out the bed. My wife, because she's a damn shaman, and that's a whole different conversation for a different day, it told me like, babe, because she's has experience and has been doing it, was like, you need to work on your shadow self. And I was like, yeah, probably. But the reason that I didn't necessarily want to do it at the moment, like anytime soon, wasn't because like I don't like self-reflection. I actually, if anybody knows me, I'm like all about self-reflection. Actually, it's the reason I do shrooms once a month. Actually, at this point, I think it's like twice a month. Sometimes it's 3 times a month. One time it was like 5 times a month. But I didn't want to actually look into my shadow self, because every time I have some like self-realization, it's never just about myself. It ends up becoming about everybody else. Like I just immediately like, oh shit. So this is why this happened. This is why that happened. This is why I go down this fucking rabbit hole. And so it's exhausting. It's mentally exhausting, and it's overwhelming to constantly, like every time, you know, like when she said that, it was like my spider sense. I'm like, oh God, I don't want to do. Cause I've known what shadow self is. Like I've read into it and things like that. But to be truth, I knew mine existed. But for the most part, I ignored it. Right. So because I was, going along fine. I'm fine. I'm good. And shit happens. It is what it is. So anyway, but before we did the shrooms that day, I said, because it was just like, oh yeah, babe, I think you're right. I think sometime this week, I'm gonna start doing some of the shadow work you were talking about. But because that was the last thought on my mind, that's the first thing that comes up when I'm on shrooms. And so now my eyes are closed. I barely can keep my eyes open for like the first hour on shrooms, which is like not normal for me. Usually, fun fact, my pupils don't dilate. Like I am very, 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 very present while I'm on shrooms. Like if I just saw you down the street and I was walking and like you walked up and talked to me while I was on shrooms, you would never know I was on shrooms. Like you would have to be talking to me for a long period of time, or I would have to tell you. And like you would have to hear me like slur maybe 1 or 2 words to be like, what, yo, so you good? But you'd probably think I'm drunk, not on shrooms. Anyway. Oh yeah, it's about to get real. Y'all see I had to take a sip of my drink. Anyway, so that's the first thought that's on my mind. So of course, what happens? This happens. I close my eyes and I hear some voice that sounds like me, but it isn't me. I'm not thinking it. You get what I'm saying? Like everybody knows how you think. Like when you think, you don't think in your voice. I don't know why people narrate their thoughts in their voice, but like you don't think in your voice, you think in words, but the words don't really have a voice attached to it, despite popular belief, right? This motherfucker had a voice and it was my voice. And I'm like, Oh God. All right, yo. What's up, man? What's good? Why are you why are you tripping right now? What do you want? Is what I asked him. Bruh, I bullshit you not. This man said, I want to destroy you. I said, what? My wife looked at me like, why did you say that for? Because I heard it once again, clear as day. I heard the nigga say, I want to destroy you in my damn head. And it's me saying it. I'm like, whoa, chill. Mind you, I'm having this conversation with my eyes closed. My wife's next to me going through her own thing. But I'm like, why? For what? And he's like, because you don't deserve any of this. And the logic was going down, basically, we did all this together, but you never let me out to enjoy any of it. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And then he's actually starts talking about, like, I'm going to do something to leave, like, that's going to make me and my wife not be together anymore. My wife being Susie. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Bitch, we're married. And as the conversation between me and this voice in my head goes on, I realized he wasn't talking about Susie, my wife, Susie. He was talking about Susie, the shadow version of her. So now, mind you, when he said it, I'm like, what are you talking about? Because, like, my thought is based off of my Susie, right? Like, my conscious self, the Susie I'm married to, and her conscious self. My shadow self told me he was mad because I didn't let him hang out with the shadow version of my wife. Now, I'm freaked out. Because I just had a breakthrough that literally, at least, and if y'all find somebody, let me know. But my wife reads this stuff all the time. I read a lot of the time. I mostly read about other people doing their own shadow work. But I had a breakthrough. You know what that breakthrough was? In all of the conversations about shadow work and the shadow self, no one ever talks about the relationship between shadows and what shadows, the relationship that shadows have with other people's conscious self. Nobody ever talks about that. Not a single. Because as I know that, because when you're doing shadow work, it is a very selfish thing. And it's not inherently a bad thing. You want to be selfish because you're trying to address the shit that you've ignored. So it seems selfish, but it's because you're trying to better yourself, which is a good thing. So you don't think about, oh, my shadow self is my relationship with other, as it pertains to your relationship with other people. You think of your shadow self as your relationship with your shadow, as I was doing. And my shadow was mad because I did not let him out to hang out with my wife's shadow. Now, mind you, whenever I met my wife, we were in our very early 20s. Almost, woo, shit. We going on almost 10 years ago? Oh my God. Almost 10 years ago. We were partiers, college partying, like, having fun, carefree, all this good stuff, right? And the shadow self is definitely mixed with your inner child, right? So that version of me, obviously, because I'm like, now y'all know everything I'm involved in and don't have to do. I don't have time to be that version of myself anymore, even like in a way that that makes my shadow happy. It's only in a response to trauma that I don't feel like dealing with, which is that's not fair to my shadow. And he obviously, clearly he has a problem with it. So now, because as I get older, even if me and my wife go out and have fun, right? What's on my mind? Work, the world ending, like quarantine, COVID, Joe Biden's a pedophile. How did like Trump move in a tanning bed to the White House? Like, how is that even possible? Like, why is he orange? Like, important stuff. So even when I'm having fun, my shadow isn't out. Now, full disclosure, on the other side of that fence, my wife's shadow hates me. Not my shadow, loves my shadow, obsessed with my shadow, actually. Despises me. Hates my guts. Because, so fun, before, my wife could take one shot and would be instantly blacked out. She could drink beer all day, which is weird, but she would take one shot, not be drunk, just blacked out. I'm gonna say it again. She would take one shot, not be drunk, just blacked out, if she ever drank liquor. Would cuss, bro, treated me like dog shit and would forget about it the next morning. Had no recollection of it whatsoever. It was literally like I was talking to a different person. When my best friend saw it, he was so confused because this ain't like the normal, oh man, you're just acting sloppy. She's not sloppy. That's the problem. If she was sloppy drunk, I'd be like, yeah, whatever, go to bed, shut up. But that's not what was happening. So it, like, remembering those times before she did her shadow work and merged her shadow with herself, I'm like, oh my God, that's why that little bitch hated me so much. Because I was stopping her from seeing the love of her life. So now I'm like, how many relationships, like not even just relationships, like how many situations are in interactions are being dictated by our shadows, like not with ourselves. How many interactions with other people that you think may be friends? Like, for example, my best friend and I have been best friends for like almost 10 years. My best friend and I have unquestionable loyalty. We both know this. But my best friend's shadow, because over the last couple of months, he's been acting very insecure in a lot of ways. I'm not going to go into details on that, but it's because of like he's going through something in his life. He's going through a transformational period in his life, a transitional period in his life as well. And because he isn't at, at the livelihood he once was, let's put it like that. And he feels like he's slack, and a lot of people feel like that, especially because COVID had a lot to do with that. But in relation with me, his shadow is constantly been trying to overcorrect because he thinks that I don't like him anymore, which isn't true. But if you listen to some of the things that he would say, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? This has nothing to do with that. But that's what it was. That's what it was. So everything is starting to make sense. And here's what's even crazier. So now my wife is asking me questions like, what about like this? What about that one? And I'm like literally closing my eyes. And now I'm going through, this is still shroom conversation because we're talking about cyclobin. This is legitimate AMA conversation. We're not just talking about shrooms for no reason this time. But I'm going through like a Rolodex of data about shadow shit that I already had in my head, but I've never learned before. I've never read it anywhere because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. I know for a fact it doesn't exist because it doesn't exist because. So I'm like, oh shit. I read everybody's shadow has been taken over. It's people now at this very moment. It's largely because of the way the planets are in retrograde. The energy in the universe is aligning. The transition from the age of the Pisces to the age of Aquarius, which is the age of enlightenment. Everybody's shadow, so the part of you that you've been wanting to ignore, is coming out and making most of the decisions for you. Not just me, not just my wife, not just Steve, old man, old hot. I'm always hoping when I say that Steve is like gonna pop and be like, man. But in all seriousness, everybody's. Have you not noticed, ladies and gentlemen, how politicians this year, really the last couple of years, but especially over the last few months, have been like snitching on themselves? They get into, like, think about Obama, for example. Obama's dumb ass comes out, like you came out publicly to be like, I think defund the police is a bad idea. What? What the fuck are you talking? What purpose did that serve? You're not running for president. You're simultaneously trying to get people to get behind you. Like, and let's be honest, right? They got Obama because they want black people to take COVID shots. And like, I mean, they want everybody to do it, but Obama is the one they call when they want black people to do anything. And like, and like right before an effort where you're trying to get people that like you and believe in you and think that you are this progressive that you are not, including on criminal justice. Like, before you try to get them to do this, take this, you come out and say, everything that y'all have been fighting for and arguing for and protesting for the last year, that shit's stupid, bro. What? Come on, bro. Why? Because he actually does believe that. Because he is like that. That he is pro-police. He's pro-fascism. I'm not millennials. I don't care nothing about millennials. Well, Joe, you know you're about to run for president, right? I don't care about them damn millennials. I know I need their vote, but I don't care about them. Kamala during the election. I'm not gonna do nothing for black people. Why would I do anything for them? Not exclusively for them. Because you've been saying for the last 3 months that you were gonna push reparations. You said that. Nobody projected that onto you. You literally announced during Martin Luther King Day and over the next several months talked about how you were going to pass reparations. And then when asked, you randomly, you know how Kamala does, I'm not going to give anything exclusively to black people. Whoa, why? Why would you say that? Lie. Think about it. Lie. You lie all the time. They lie all the time. So why would you then need to tell the truth at a point where it's the most inconvenient? Choctaw Wars, when Biden told people to vote for Trump. Right? Think about it. Why wouldn't you not just lie? Just lie. Also, for all my Bernie people, why do you think that there's a sudden transition for Bernie? Like this, I mean, he's had his issues as a human being who is flawed, because we all do, but the egregious nature, like this man has been habitually egregious since he dropped out and even a little bit before that, doing whatever he can to just be loved and adored and embraced by the very people who've always despised him, because he's always wanted that. That's not new. That's always been there. And he's always wanted to be a part of the team. But he's masked that as, I'm going to rail against them because I don't like them. But what he did was, he's like, I just did all of this. I got X million amount of 12 or 13 million votes. I got all this money. I got this movement. Y'all need me now, huh? And they're like, okay, come here, Bernie. Come get a hug. Now what? Okay, cool. I'll do whatever you say. Thank you. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to be loved and adored and praised all the time. Oh, but it gets so much deeper than that. I'm not going to all of it, but so remember I told you that like everyone's shadows are making the decisions for us. Like this is my don't ask me how I know. Don't ask me. This is strictly on shrooms, and my data bank told me this. But I'm gonna go ahead and take my data bank seriously, and the reason why is because y'all know I believe in numerology, and I'm a master number 11, and what that really just means is that we are supposed to be one of the oldest souls on the planet. And you choose your name. My name's Niko. Hi. I'm an alcoholic. Just kidding. But I am a shroom head. And Niko, for those of you who don't know, is just the male conjugated version of the god, definitely not a virgin, but version of the goddess Nike. And Nike, a lot of people think just means victory, and that's actually not true. And it's funny because it makes sense that Nike, the company, would say that instead of what it actually means completely, which is victory for the people. And so I guess it would make sense that I just have a random database of shit. Like that would never. So now I say that and I was like, oh, that actually sounds right. That sounds about right. So like an hour goes by, whatever. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God. You know how I know it's true? That all of our shadows are making a decision? Do y'all remember the movie Us? Y'all remember that movie? Listen, that was a fantastic movie. Actually, I can guarantee that almost everybody in this comment section has watched Us. Is that B Nick? Hey, B Nick. And anyway, but so all of us, is it all of us or us? It's us. It's us. I think it was originally supposed to be all of us.
No, us.
And then it became Us. Probably branding things. But so Us was so popular. You know, I live in Florida, went to Orlando for Halloween that year that movie came out. The longest line in the park was Us. For the Express, it was an hour and a half wait. For the Express. Every other ride, bruh, breeze through. We're like, oh, we can go to that one last. Everybody wanted to ride that ride. Everybody had seen the movie. Everybody I know has seen the movie. No one talks about the movie, people. My name is not Nicolas. My name is Niko.
Well, they're trying to get your attention.
Everyone's seen the movie. No one talks about the movie. It's never, like, outside of the day it dropped and they did the promotion and ads, never really trended. No one ever really talks about it with their friends. Nothing. Think about it. And this had 2 Marvel actors, was written and directed and produced by Jordan Peele. And no one talks about this movie, but everyone sees it. Everybody loves it. And I distinctly remember the feeling that I got. My wife asked me randomly one night, hey, you want to rewatch Us? Because we had saw it already. When I was like, hell no, I'm not watching that movie. I'm like, why did I react like that? The movie didn't scare me. It's a thriller, but it didn't scare me. But I just remembered the end of the movie. And I remember the feeling I had the entire time watching this movie. And for those of you who have seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I freaked out. And the image that came across my brain was all the people from underground holding hands, right? Now, if you know, this is kind of like the beginning of the movie, so like it's not really a spoiler. But basically, Lupita, who's the Nakia from Black Panther, T'Challa's girlfriend, she goes to the beach, sees some other version of herself in a mirror, and obviously it moves, but she didn't, because it wasn't her. It was her, but it wasn't. And then freaks out and is traumatized for the rest of her life to the point where she doesn't even talk again until like she's an adult. Now they go back to the area where it happened, and the copies all start coming from underground. Now, Lupita's character is like the one who led this charge, and it's talking about how all of them are coming back. They're tired of being ignored. They're tired of dealing with the people's above's trauma, because they're doing everything. They're like attached on a string underground, doing the same exact thing, going through the same motions. But the trauma that we experience, they're experiencing the same trauma, but even worse. And we never checked on them whatsoever to be like, yo, y'all good? So they like, nah, fuck that, we going up. And they basically were saying they about to take over all the copies, and they're holding hands across. Ladies and gentlemen, that movie is about shadow selves, and it was literally a warning. That movie was literally a warning. It's what came out 2 years ago, right? And I want you to think about it. If you saw the movie, you remember whenever they finally catch the family and they're sitting on the couch and they're sitting looking at each other. And like, instead of just straight up killing them, which is what you would have thought, given the movie, she's like, Lupita, the other version of her from below, like told her crazy son, go play with the other kid, like go play with him. He's just always wanted to have a friend to play with. Like, okay, that's weird. All right. Tells the daughter, go chase the other girl down, because her daughter is a runner. You know, the Lupita's daughter in the movie is a runner, and the other one's a runner too, but has never been able to run outside, you know, and feel her feet on the sand, all that stuff. Then the husband, same thing, go on the boat, go have fun on the boat like the husband did. So instead of killing the family, what does she do? I want to do all the fun shit you've never let me do. Because all I get to deal with is the trauma now. I don't get to do all the fun stuff. So they come out, fine, we're just gonna take over then. Because y'all want to ignore us and pretend like we don't exist. Yeah. And so now I'm like, look at my wife, I'm like, oh wow. Because now this is a warning. This is a warning that came out 2 years ago. Now I'm even more freaked out. Because I'm like, did Jordan Peele write that? Or did Jordan Peele's shadow write this? And there's almost no way for us to know. I mean, we can ask him, but does Jordan Peele ever talk about the shadow self? Does he ever address it? Because like it's possible that like because Jordan Peele is a very like secure guy. He's extremely intelligent, very well read, very articulate, like just very knowledgeable about a lot of stuff. And he clearly thinks very philosophically. If you ever seen like Keanu, like that movie was nothing like what I expected to be, but it was absolutely amazing. But did he write the movie? Or did his shadow, who was also, once again, he probably is in touch with. And so at that point, because like I told y'all, like this, and I don't really like that description. They were like, the shadow is like a subconscious being of ours. No. The shadow is you. It is not, it's in your subconscious, but it controls you more, especially as an adult. It controls you more than your conscious controls you. Than you constantly control yourself. It dictates your decisions more than you dictate your decisions. You think you dictate your decisions. Like, oh no, I'm the reason. I chose to do that. I'm choosing to behave like this. I'm choosing. Nope. That's a lot of it, especially as adults. Some of the dumb decisions you make, it's not you. It's just not you. Like not a lot of times, especially as an adult. So did Jordan Peele write the movie, or did Jordan Peele's shadow write the movie? We talking about Guardians of the Galaxy too. Y'all know y'all know me, I'm talking about Guardians all the time. And I'm actually obsessed with the movie. Like, and a lot of people are. But it's like this weird cult thing. People who know about it. Other people like, that's like a flyby Marvel movie. Until they sit back down and watch it. And they're like, oh my God. Then you start looking at like, well, why would people, like the people who are obsessed with it, that look at the elements of it, because it's different than the first one. The vibe of it's different. It's everybody is dealing with something and addressing something. Because I already told y'all about the whole ego thing, right? Planet's ego. The planet ego is also an alien that's Quill, Chris Pratt's dad. Once they meet Ego, the family splits up. Once they kill Ego, the family gets back together. But it's even deeper than that. Nebula is Gamora's shadow. Groot is Rocket's shadow. Yondu is Chris Pratt's shadow. Who am I missing? And what's her name? Mantis is Drax's shadow. Think about it. Rocket is, for whatever reason, obsessed with Groot. You got baby Groot, which likely represents not only his shadow, but his inner child. And then big Groot, who he still talks to like he's a kid. Like, but he's upset. They never leave each other's side, right? Now, whenever Yondu and Rocket get kidnapped, what happens? They make up, but that was right after what? Quill, Chris Pratt, and Rocket get into that big ass fight. So now Yondu and Chris Pratt make up, but mind you, Yondu's talking about his inner child shit because his father figure is mad at him and doesn't like him anymore. Has excommunicated him. Rocket and Yondu make up, and all of a sudden Yondu comes and joins the team, and they, Chris Pratt and him make up really fast, and now they're best friends and they're all on the same team, and everybody likes Yondu now. Like, what? Because Rocket made up with, because him and Chris Pratt argued, but then Rocket made up with Chris Pratt's shadow. Now everybody's good. Nebula and Gamora hate each other, but Nebula is really like that. The mindset that Nebula has is what Thanos wanted Gamora to be, but Gamora got all the fighting skills, but a bunch of empathy instead. So she's the fighter that Thanos wanted, but not the sadist that Thanos wanted. But Nebula is a sadist that Thanos wants, but never wanted to be that, and hates it, and looks like she is physically paying for the trauma of what it takes to be that type of person. So of course, y'all know when she meets you're the one talking, when Nebula and Gamora try to kill each other, and Nebula like, you're the one who wanted to win. I just wanted a sister. And Gamora is always talking about her family. They make up. All of a sudden, Nebula and the rest of them are friends. And what's funny is that one scene, it's like a quick scene, but whenever Yondu and Nebula have to, do that little laser thing and they kill all the little ships, the golden ships from the Sovereign. That's like Nebula's shadow and Chris Pratt's, Gamora's shadow and Chris Pratt Quill's shadow are like, we're good now because we've dealt with our trauma. We're not pretending like we're not what we are anymore. Right? So then, and Drax and in Mantis have that scene where in Drax, y'all know, cold, straightforward, doesn't give a shit about, he's always like, don't give a shit. I'm talking shit about you. Don't care about you. Fuck your feelings. Drax is fuck your feelings. Mantis is I am your feelings. Mantis is Drax's shadow. The way Drax can't express his feelings or his emotions, Mantis is literally feelings and emotion. And then remember the scene where she touches him and he's reminiscing about his daughter. But what happens? He says, you remind me of my daughter. She was naive just like you. And then she's like, what do you mean? And then she touches, because he's an empath. So Drax is cold, emotionless. She's an empath, touches him. While she's touching him, and he's talking about his daughter while they were hanging out the Forgotten Lakes of his homeworld. While she's touching him, she's crying, but he isn't. And because of her relationship with Drax, that's why they found out that Ego was planning some shit. Because Drax merged with his shadow. So then, whenever all of the shadows merge, including, by the way, Kraglin, who I actually believe is Yondu's shadow, because he always he has this weird jealousy thing when it comes to Quill, but he feels unappreciative. He feels like Quill doesn't appreciate him, and even though Yondu always cuts him slack, right? That's what Kraglin's always talking about, is you always help Quill, you always cut him loose, you always let him do everything. Yondu, I'm always giving you fucking everything. I'm always treating you with exception. I saved your life. You don't fucking appreciate shit. So then Kraglin, goes up and apologizes, because Kraglin was part of the reason there was a mutiny. But if Yondu would have paid attention to his shadow, there would have never been a fucking mutiny. So now they all get their shadow together. They all merge. They merge with their shadows. They stop ignoring their trauma, stop ignoring their shadows. And remember when the ship explodes and they all, they always do the panoramic in every superhero movie, especially in the MCU. They have that scene where they do the panorama. So the scene comes, the ship gets destroyed, they all jump down, they land, and then they do the panorama, and there's sparks flying. Chris Pratt and Gamora are good. They're all standing there as a family. And they destroy Ego. Bruh. So did James Gunn write the movie, or did James Gunn's shadow write the movie to tell you how to overcome your ego and merge your shadow? So, yes, Cyclops is good for PTSD. That's the moral of the story. What's up, man? How does your shadow relate to internal? Oh, it's because it's all of the things that you may feel guilty about, the trauma that you receive, because like a lot of times when we go through trauma, we blame ourselves. And I think that's like our inner child does that, because like as a kid, like your parents get divorced, right? Who do you blame? Me. Well, y'all were together before I got here. And so natural conclusion as a child, it's my fault. Well, if before the situation got fucked, before I was in it, the situation wasn't fucked, but I'm in it now and the situation's fucked. It's got to be my fault. I've seen, you know what I'm saying? So like you bury all that and you internalize it, because like you can't think about that when you're going through your everyday life. And it's easier, because if I'm like thinking about that all the time, I can't get my work done. But like that doesn't mean you don't take the time when you get home to sit down and address it. Get it? So it's very, very important to do shadow work just in general, but even more so, it is important to examine the relationships in your life, and not only examine how you interact with those people, but how your shadow is interacting with anybody. Because don't get it twisted. It ain't like, oh, I don't like this person, and therefore my shadow doesn't like this person. No. It is, you can love someone with all of your heart and soul, and your shadow can fucking despise them. It's like that. And people have not figured it out yet. And so for me, because I also, now I'm talking to my shadow self, because we're cool now, right? We made up. I told him we're going to get it squared away. Say, yo, man, we're going to deal with the trauma, but I need you right now, dog. We got a lot of shit going on. Like, we got to save this world. We need to, there's a lot of shit we got to do. He was like, all right, man. Well, don't forget about me, though. Now, I've been talking to him nonstop since. For real, like nonstop. Ask him, is it okay if we do this? What you want to do today? What you want to do? Like, deadass. Even when I'm like, when I don't want to do something, I'm like, hold up. Is it me who don't want to do this, or is it you? Why don't you want to do it? Well, can we do a little bit? What do you want to do first? Okay, cool. Can I do that after though? But you're going to give me the energy and the motivation to do it after, right? Okay. All right, cool. It's been beautiful. I actually woke up the next day feeling like a complete person. But, hold on, what was the question again? What was the question? Oh, okay, yeah, okay. So talking about guilt. Shame and guilt. So basically I addressed everything. Also, like while we're having conversation, well, what do you feel guilty about? What should I feel guilty about? What do you think? Like blah blah blah. And now, mind you, the shame and guilt, it don't just affect, once again, how your shadow interacts with you, but now how it interacts with everybody. The one that also went through my Rolodex, my random Rolodex of data that I did not know I had. The number one goal of shadows is not actually to have fun. It is, that's a big part of how you tame and placate your shadow. But the number one goal of all shadows in the world, avoid consequences. That is the number one goal. Because with consequence comes trauma. Shadows are tired of dealing with our trauma. So now think about that in the context of relationships with other people. Everybody knows, if you don't know one thing about me, is that random motherfuckers will hate me with all of their heart and soul. Have no idea why. Hate me with their heart and soul. For real. You know who has a similar problem? Tulsi, right? Tulsi is the kindest person that you could ever meet. People will hate her, despise her with their heart and fucking soul, people. Anna just wanted to cut Tulsi's throat. I wish I was exaggerating, but that's what she was acting like. That's what she still acts like. Why do you think that is? Because with me, with Tulsi, even if we're not talking to you directly, we're all about making sure people are accountable. And if you've been one of the ones, consciously or unconsciously, who has been guilty of corruption or even just general apathy to people, then your shadow immediately pops out, comes to your defense, because shadow's entire goal is to avoid consequences. That guilt is what drives that irrational hate. It's that shadow, that guilt that shadow has, is why Cenk, when some random follower says, I'm glad Jimmy left TYT, that was the statement. I'm glad Jimmy left TYT. Y'all sellouts. Oh, I must be doing something right if the anti-Trump left hates me. And why don't you ask about Tulsi Gabbard? What? What the fuck does that have to do with anything? Y'all saw it. I did a video on it. I know y'all saw it. That was the most bizarre shit to me. That was bizarre to me. Like, even for y'all know Cenk is unhinged, but that response to me, that like, I didn't even know how to put it into words at the time, because this is before I had that trip. I couldn't even put it. I'm like, bro, I know this is some Cenk shit. Like, okay, cool. But like, the words aren't, his response is not matching up with the original tweet. Also, who the fuck is this guy that you're responding to? Why would, like, that tweet could come up 3 years from now and just bury Cenk. You don't know what Tulsi's gonna be. You don't know what Jimmy's gonna be. Hell, you don't know what Trump's gonna be. It could bury Cenk. And yet, saying somebody random, no profile picture, some random, you know how that shit goes. Somebody with no profile picture, random like photo, no, their name isn't their real Twitter handle, just distant Twitter observer, saying the words, I'm glad Jimmy left TYT, made you that irrationally angry that you came out and implied Jimmy is actually the pro-Trump left, that if he and others like the guy who responded hate Cenk, then he's doing something right, which obviously is the opposite. And what about Tulsi? She endorsed torture, which by the way is a lie. She said, I'm unsure about a very specific report, and she has 100% voting record against torture, actually. Not only at the floor, on the congressional floor for votes, but at the committee level. At the committee. And he knew that because he's the one who interviewed her and asked her to clarify what that meant. And yet, it didn't matter. Why? Because Cenk knows what that person said is valid and correct. And Cenk's shadow, a lot of the things that Cenk does is in direct, it's Cenk's shadow directly responding to Jimmy. A lot of the shit that Sam Cedar does is Cedar's shadow responding to Jimmy. Now, here's what's funny. For those of you who watch the Jimmy Dore show, shout out to Jimmy, my guy. What are Jimmy and Steph always randomly bringing up? Doing shadow work. So out of the three of them, the one who isn't unhinged is the one who does shadow work. Out of Anna, Emma, and Tulsi, out of the three of them, the one who isn't unhinged is the one who is constantly meditating and is clearly, and because inherent in meditation is shadow work. It's about being mindful. The one who consciously reflects on herself to herself and is questioning herself and why she does what she does, and has even in interviews revealed the trauma that she's overcome, and it explains how she has gotten to where she's at. Think about it. Why it wasn't Bernie that threw Tulsi under the bus, that threw even Nina under the bus, and Bree for that matter. It was Bernie's shadow. Bernie's shadow don't like Tulsi. Bernie's shadow really doesn't. I mean, Bernie's shadow is jealous of Nina and threatened by Nina. Bernie's shadow is jealous and does not like Tulsi because Tulsi represents consequence of inconsistency in the disingenuous nature that Bernie has carried himself over the last 2 or 3 years. And everything that everybody thought you were, Tulsi actually has become. Bernie's shadow saw all that shit that he kind of sacrificed his integrity to gain all that popularity. Because everybody said, oh, he's the best anti-war candidate. Iraq. Yeah, Tulsi's actually saying, introduce legislation, pull out of Iraq, pull out of Afghanistan, pull out of Syria, like all over the world. She's talking about pulling out. That's not what Bernie's saying. Bernie's talking about, oh, legalize marijuana. Tulsi says decriminalize all goddamn drugs, and she's never done a drug in her life. She doesn't even drink alcohol. She's a vegan. But that had nothing to do with it. Bernie says reform the prisons, stop building private prisons. Tulsi says ban the private prison system altogether and completely demilitarize the police. Introduce legislation to do the latter. So when you start actually thinking about this stuff, like look at how people are reacting to a person's presence, not even reacting to something somebody said. Why is Jordan so upset? Like whenever Fiorella and Pasta were talking about election integrity, people, Fiorella and Pasta, like myself, one of the reasons that we became this network, have been talking about election integrity for 3 years straight. Nonstop, people. This is not new. Not only is it not new, it's not new for Jordan. Jordan himself has talked about election integrity for 3 or 4 years. And that's a whole different thing. But that's kind of what he's been somewhat known for in a lot of ways for a lot of people. The ones who especially knew him at TYT. But of course, Jordan's grift has been more and more. What did Bernie say? Okay, we're going to go with that. What did Bernie say? We're going to go with that. What did Bernie say? What did Rose Twitter say? We're going to go with that. Because he's now trying to, that's what same reason he's doing his little telethons, as y'all like to call them. So now, Fiorella and Craig, or Pasta, y'all know him. Fiorella and Pasta and Jordan have talked about the same thing as far as they both talked about election integrity for 3 years. Jordan asked Nina about election integrity and was talking about asking Nina how her and Bernie were going to fight election fraud from the Democratic Party. So he knows it exists. But his grift conflicts with his shadow, or the guilt his shadow has. It can't just be, I believe that Trump lost and there was no fraud. Pasta and Fiorella believe that there was fraud, and we disagree, but it is what it is. It's fine. I have to disrespect you or hate you for it. No, it has to be your honesty reveals my hypocrisy and my guilt. Therefore, my shadow has to tear you down. That's the only rational response when one person who's talked about election integrity for 3 years and hates two people who've talked about election integrity for 3 years, all of a sudden, because the one person all of a sudden stopped believing in election fraud by the Democratic Party specifically, that's what his whole focus has been for 3 years. It has nothing to do with Trump derangement syndrome. That doesn't have anything to do with Trump derangement syndrome. And a lot of people know that Trump derangement syndrome are the things that people say that are attributed to. A lot of people don't know this. Well, no, I will say a lot of people do know this. A lot of things that people can attribute to Trump derangement syndrome, that is a cop-out. It is not Trump derangement syndrome. It is everyone trying to fulfill their selfish desires. TDS simply is the avenue that they are taking to do it, but it doesn't actually mean they believe it. They don't really have it, but it is a good shield. It's a great shield so that you never find out, I really just want a lot of money and a lot of security and a lot of success, and I want to be as famous as those blue checks over there. Do your shadow work, people. Do your shadow work, people. Man, okay. Where are we at now? Who told me to shave my hair? Alex. I mean this in the kindest way I possibly can. EAD. I'm not shaving my hair. I love my hair. Okay. My mama loves my hair. My mama told me the other day she loves my hair. So if my mama love it, my wife love it, I'm gonna keep it. It's gonna get longer and you're gonna have to deal with it. Blonde and all. Thanks for the suggestion though. Jordan needs to stop sending Jen on damn status quo powwow missions. Yeah, he does do that. At least it's what it looks like on Twitter. It's weird. Romwell? Where is it? Oh, Niko, please read. Someone from the vlogger stream proposed a perfect idea about COVID vaccines. What about getting in it? What about we trend this hashtag? Give it to Biden. Gates and fact. Okay, first of all, I'm not going to tweet that because CIA. But and plus, I do believe in karma, and I don't wish anybody dies. I know there's this weird thing on the left now where they're like wishing Giuliani died. Like, what? Look, that is not my place on this earth. It is not my. I don't know how. I'm not here to determine when energy is here and when it leaves his body. Like, I'm not here for that. I'm not dabbling in that world. That's not my place. But the vaccine, as far as that's concerned specifically, good luck getting that trending, because the truth is not. They don't. Have you not noticed that they suppress unless it is a mainstream media tweet specifically? It doesn't matter if it is like pro-COVID establishment COVID narrative or anti-establishment COVID narrative. If it's not from the mainstream media, it's getting suppressed because it's just too difficult for the mainstream media to actually siphon through the nuanced conversation, because some people have the right idea. Like, they might disagree on the nuance of the discussion we're having, but they're trying to paint the whole conversation as people who believe in COVID and who don't believe in COVID at all. And that's 95% of the conversation. That is not what's being discussed. It is the way that it's being handled, the nefarious nature of the way that we are denying people the medicine and the treatments that we have seen work, not only when people have COVID, but preventatively around the country and even around this country and around the world, right? It's about the disastrous way that they've put this COVID vaccine together. Our healthcare professionals, my sister's a nurse, bro. She's not taking that shit. She's not taking it. Or actually, I think she's going to get her PhD in biochemical research now, but she's still not taking it, and probably because she's smart enough, because she's literally getting her fucking doctorate in biochemical engineering. She knows what time it is. My cousin already got her degree in biochemical engineering. She's not taking it, but they both believe in COVID. My sister got COVID because it's like, yeah, is it crazy to think of COVID? Of course it exists. Why not? Why wouldn't it? Does that mean I have to turn my life into martial law and allow the WHO to create a certificate before I can travel? Y'all can either do. That's a different video for tomorrow. We're gonna talk about that though. But COVID, unless it's from the mainstream media or literally, you know how Twitter do. Twitter just shoves hashtags in there to control narratives. Like even with Matthew McConaughey, just for an example, he came out and said Hollywood liberals are condescending as shit to conservatives and are hypocrites. So what did they do? What did they say as a headline? Because it started trending, and nobody expected today that Matthew McConaughey would become viral for calling out Democrats, or anything, honestly, because Matthew McConaughey, if he's not in a Lincoln commercial or in one of my favorite movies, Being the Coolest Guy Ever, nobody ever really talks about Matthew McConaughey. So they didn't see it coming, right? They weren't expecting it. They didn't get to preempt it. So they instead say, yeah, he definitely called Democrats and Hollywood liberals hypocrites, but he said that the Republicans are election deniers. What he said was that the Hollywood leftists and Democrats are hypocrites for attacking conservatives for denying the veracity of the elections. That's what he said. So yeah, he's saying they're quote unquote election deniers, but it's because he was saying in the context of liberals are hypocrites for attacking them for not trusting the security of this election. That's what they do. It's really, when I'm reading it, it seemed like something simple. but it's scary. Even something as cut and dry as that. And if you watch Matthew McConaughey's interview, he had two. He had one with Russell Brand. Russell Brand is that dude, by the way. But he had two. He had one with Russell Brand, one with Time Magazine. I read some of the one with Time Magazine, or excuse me, I watched some of the one with Time Magazine, read a lot of the one with Russell Brand. Matthew McConaughey is a goddamn genius. And it's funny because he's another person who came from South Texas, moved to California, so he understands both conservatives and liberals. He's seen both and everything in between, of course. I'm saying what? From New York, lived in the South, live in Miami. I can't stand red or blue states anymore. I can't stand y'all. It's miserable. I'd rather live in a place like Florida where people get their faces eat off if we can get a mixed government that is forced because they're literally legitimately worried, because it's so, like, the ideologies here are so mixed. They're legitimately worried about losing their seat every election. Almost every single politician here. Listen, the mayor, I think mayor of Miami Beach, Miami-Dade, like a commissioner or like a city council member, something like that. They're holding a press conference on Saturday on South Beach. Oh, I think it's the mayor of South Beach too. And they're doing a food drive and then demanding Congress pass a stimulus. Why? Because they see what's happening in the city. Bro, crime rates here the shit that's happening here has been insane. I've never seen anything like this. Motherfuckers walking around with machetes. People throwing Molotov cocktails in people's cars. Listen, y'all, Miami's different. People out here don't be mad about nothing. Live in fucking Miami. But people are poor. People are poor. They can't put Christmas presents under their tree. They can't even put food on the table, let alone Christmas presents under their tree. So they know those mayors, if we don't start publicly demanding, using these offices that we have of the, one of the most popular cities in the country, to start demanding stimulus, and then publicly helping people and setting the example, saying we should all be doing this. It shouldn't just be us. Why don't we use our mayoral, our gravitas to show we should be out here doing food drives? It shouldn't be raising money for no non-damn profit to do my fucking job that they pay us to do. Why I gotta donate to a non-profit and pay my taxes? Do your fucking job, so I don't need a non-profit. But I digress. It's going to be hard to get COVID to trend like that, especially like that, because that's a little bit nefarious. Who wants to remain on lockdown forever? Oh, he must be talking to me. Turn the fan on. I know he ain't talking to me. Boy, on lockdown forever, I was barely on lockdown for a couple of months. That's not the here nor there, though. I live in Miami. Y'all might be on lockdown forever. All that shit y'all talking about Florida. And yeah, they was talking a lot of shit about Florida 3-4 months in. Oh my God. They don't want to follow the rules. They don't want to da-da-da-da. And now y'all looking at Miami and the rest of Florida like, man, they having a lot of fun over there. God damn it. I know I was talking shit, y'all, but like, y'all trying to fly down there for vacation? Like, just don't post no pictures. I see y'all. I saw somebody in the club say, don't take a picture of me. Don't take a picture of me. Or at a bar. They were, don't take a picture of me. Don't take a picture. Why? People think that if they don't go back to shadow self, they feel guilty because why? Because the shadow government told them to feel guilty. So now they're even like, it's perfectly rational for a human being to want to interact with other human beings that they've never met before. It's perfectly fine when you are denied that for a long time. It actually has psychological implications. Being on house arrest, like, oh, at least you're not in jail. Motherfucker, it feel like it. When you are no longer in control, when you no longer have autonomy over your decision making, especially like if you're on house arrest, you feel like, well, I mean, I'm just paying the piper. I guess I better be happy. Bro, this ain't that. This is, bruh. So y'all don't know what's really going on. CDC says the 99 CDC Center for Disease Control said 99% survival rate. It says actually higher than that. Y'all won't even advertise or mention the other treatments. You won't give me stimulus. You won't let me go to work. Making me wear a mask everywhere, even though the mask doesn't fucking work. Like if you want to tell me, oh, everybody's going to check to make sure you have one of those masks that at least are like, not like, because like there's some masks that are, if research came out, oh no, actually this type of mask actually makes shit worse because of the type of virus that coronavirus is. It has a hook and it can hook onto your mask. But if you had somebody at the front of the store saying, hey, that mask is inappropriate, that mask isn't correct, it's not going to work. Okay, that's good. Now, that's different. Then maybe I can at least believe in your bullshit. But y'all not even pretending to give a shit about the idea of a mask working or not working. Like, y'all don't even care about that. Just wear the mask. It doesn't matter if it works. And the CDC people is the one who's been providing the mainstream narrative, like the numbers for the mainstream narrative this entire time, and they are saying there's a 99% survival rate. Why am I on house arrest then? Why can I not see my family for Thanksgiving? Why can I not travel to see my family for Christmas? Why am I sending my kid to school with mask on and having to skip work because my kid now don't have school? I got to stay home and make sure he don't, bullshit on his homework. I don't know what the fuck Common Core is. Stop making trees. Just do the math, man. What the fuck? You want trees, plant them outside. Don't put it on the math equation. People are tired, man. You're tired. The governor of Mexico, by the way, came out and said that these mandatory quarantines, the mandatory lockdowns, he said that that's a dictator policy, is what he said. I tend to agree with him. It's especially dictatorial when you're saying we have to go on lockdown because, oh, there's no solution, and so we can't go off lockdown to the solution. That is a lie. That is a lie. That is a lie. Also, once again, back to the shadow self. Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, George Bush come out and say they're going to take the virus publicly to build up confidence. Once again, why? There has been a lack of confidence in vaccines, like just in general, mostly because of the distrust in the FDA. So I guess rightfully so, right? There's been a distrust in vaccines for a long time. Flu vaccine, I would say the majority of Americans actually don't even get the flu vaccine. The majority of Americans don't. Either because they don't feel like they need it, or they feel like, why would I give myself the flu? I'd rather just get the flu and get over it. A lot of people do, but a lot of people, they don't say, well, we're going to, like the presidents don't, because flu is still a big deal. Hundreds of thousands of people still die from the flu every year. I don't know why that's like people forgetting that. But they say that the flu vaccine is necessary, right? It saves lives. It saves children's lives. So why don't presidents come out and take the flu vaccine? That actually seemingly has had, they've been working on that forever. But that also only has like a 40 or 50% efficacy rate, something like that. But it's also flu vaccine. So like same thing. 100,000 people die every year from it. Like not a lot. People not. I won't say not a lot of public confidence in it, but people don't feel like it's necessary to take a flu vaccine. Same thing for COVID. Maybe people don't have confidence in it. Some people don't feel like it's necessary. So they feel like, oh no. Oh, now I got to get the most popular president in history, this man who played the jazz or played the saxophone on the Arsenio Hall show, and the most successful warmonger in recent history, George W. Bush, to take COVID. Why? Why would they put themselves in a position to make it look like they're needed, like that people needed to believe that the vaccine was safe? Why this vaccine? Why are you doing it for this one? Huh? Why this one? Because you don't want people to feel like you're doing exactly what you're doing. That you've been lying. If about nothing else, the motives behind the actions that you've been taking over the last few months. Why you're denying stimulus. Why we want to build back better. Even shout out, oh my God, I can't remember her name now. The young woman who plays Shuri on Black Panther came under attack. Why? Because she said, boy, y'all are stupid. I feel like y'all not really thinking logically about this vaccine situation. I think a lot of y'all just accepting these narratives. Bruh. And you know what's even funny? She got attacked on Twitter. You know what she said, bro? She said, oh, y'all think gonna cancel me? Nah, no, you're not. You can't cancel me. Bruh. That's the next Black Panther, y'all. Just want y'all to know that. And it's funny because obviously if you've seen the movie or if you've seen Marvel, you know that Shuri is like simultaneously, not only is she the most rebellious in Black Panther, the MCU came out and said she's also the smartest. Or Kevin Feige, the creator of the MCU, came out and said that Shuri, Black Panther's sister, is the smartest in MCU as well, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So isn't that just, it's just funny to me that the smartest, most rebellious character out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, who's also about to be the next Black Panther, because that's how the comic books go. Actually, Black Panther's sister literally ends up taking over, which is literally weird. It's kind of weird, actually, how this whole thing worked out. But she's the one saying, bro, at least think critically about this. She never said COVID doesn't exist. Never said that. Nothing. Never said it. Like most of us don't ever, why would I say that? I just told y'all my team has COVID. Guess what my team also said? I ain't taking that fucking vaccine, you crazy. And what's even scarier, people, is that if I'm not mistaken, both Johnny and Fee have already had it. Which means that just because you get it doesn't mean you won't get it. Just because you get it don't mean you won't get it. And they've already come out and said just because you get the vaccine doesn't mean you can't spread it. So what the fuck am I getting it for then? Why am I putting my life in danger? Because effectively every time you put something in your arm, your life is in danger, like, to be real. Sometimes you just got to do cost benefit analysis, risk reward. Sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it isn't. They haven't even made it seem like this is worth it. They've been gaslighting to such a degree where they're making it seem, this is the worst thing. God, if people really felt like that, people say they feel like, this is life or death all the time for every single person, indistinguishably. Like, they say they think that until you've been to a bar in the last 2 weeks, or been to the mall in the last 2 weeks, or been to a park in the last 2 weeks, or been downtown somewhere in the last 2 weeks, they say they think it's the most dangerous thing in the world. Trust me, if people really believe that, like instinctually believe that this, bro, you ain't going grocery shopping. If y'all truly thought this shit was like polio, smallpox, you not going grocery shopping. You're not. You're not going to leave your damn house. Americans are punks. If we truly felt like we were that threatened, like the average person, even the people who say because like really a lot of people just want to tweet shit like to pretend like they like, it's alarmist. It's just alarmist shit to get retweets, to make it seem like they are more empathetic and care about saving lives than they actually do. It's not really about that. It's about looking like they care, because their shadow desires to be popular and cool and look like they're empathic when they're actually just doing it for selfish. They just want the clout. They want to look like they're on the right side of history. Natalie, what's going on? Glad you can make it.
Hey, someone said in the comments that the vaccine will only cure symptoms and not the virus itself.
Yeah, somebody said the vaccine will only cure the symptoms and not the virus itself. Yeah, so far that's what it's looking like. And once again, the chairman of Pfizer, who, by the way, their vaccine got approved in Great Britain already. But when asked, will this stop it from spreading? He said, oh man, you know what? That's something we really need to look into. The fuck you mean you really need to look into it? Didn't you just conduct a bunch of research? How is one of the first things you do is, because like, once again, what's the justification? Whenever people gaslight y'all, I know some of y'all be experiencing it. Y'all get gaslit like, oh my God, you're going to kill your grandparents if you don't get it. Trying to kill people. But if I get it, and I'm not quite sure if it's okay. By the way, what not quite sure if it can be spread when getting the vaccine means is shit. I was hoping you didn't ask this question because if you know anything, if you've ever gotten back, like I'm in the military, so I've gotten vaccinations before. I mean, like as an adult, not just as a kid. A lot of those vaccinations, they tell you don't touch anybody because you're gonna get that shit to somebody else because it inoculates, it gives you the virus, and it's probably likely that it'll. So now I went from, man, I better be careful how I move while I'm out in public because I live with my grandparents or somebody that has a comorbidity, so I don't bring it back in the house. Now it's all of a sudden millions of people are getting the virus and are putting themselves in a position to infect the very people they got the vaccine to save. Because a lot of people are not trying to get it to save themselves, they're getting it to save somebody else, and that is what they've been trying to convince you of. Think about it. That's the logic. That's what they've been conditioning you to do, is to get the vaccine for someone else. Get it to save that your grandparent, your mother, your father, that person within your household with diabetes, with heart disease. It's not about you. It's about them. Get it for them. Except for if you get it, you might give the goddamn virus to them. And they could end up, so people, all the people with comorbidities, elderly people could die off in massive rates. Like we could actually see more people die of COVID, but it will never actually make, like, now I ain't talking about like, oh man, how did he die of COVID? In a motorcycle accident. Like, I ain't talking about that type of, I ain't talking about them numbers. I'm talking about like, nah, people will really start dying of COVID, and it could get even worse than that, because now what happens when the COVID virus mutates because it hates the virus, and now I'm like, man, or hates the vaccine, and you know how viruses do, same thing what happens with the flu. What happens? It mutates, it can become worse and become more deadly. And this is a virus that everyone experiences seemingly different symptoms depending on the person. It is no one. And so now, once again, in the future, we don't know, like, it, because it's everything is, you know, like all of a sudden, nobody dies from the flu anymore. Nobody. Everybody, shit, flu's cured. If you let them tell it, right? We in the middle of flu season. Ain't nobody. What happened to all those flu vaccine commercials that we used to see all the time? What happened to them bitches? Nobody got the flu. Nobody dies from the flu. If you let the news tell it, flu doesn't exist anymore. But COVID, everybody, because of, once again, certain agendas, not everybody got COVID. But what happens whenever they get their goal, vaccinations are in, people start getting vaccinations, all of a sudden people really start dying of COVID. Now it gets buried, and if you start noticing the pattern, well, hold on, more people seem to be dying since the vaccine was created. Oh, you're an anti-vaxxer! You're an anti-vaxxer! He's like, no, but before y'all said if a person broke their foot, fell down a cliff, was eaten by a shark, if they got the toe back, they would run the toe through the goddamn scanner and be like, looks like he died of COVID. Go ahead and report that to the CDC. But in the future, once they get what they need, once they get what they want, all of a sudden nobody dies of COVID. If you notice the correlation, then you're an anti-vaxxer. That's what's going to happen. Red Sea Socialists, thank you very much for the super chat. They're worried about us spreading the virus while they support drone bombing and sanctioning other countries to death over it. Bro, ain't that the damn truth? And what's even worse is when people try to once again pretend like that's exclusively a Trump thing. Trump is a fucking problem when it comes to sanctions for a lot of these countries. But last time I checked, and somebody can verify this for me, don't sanctions actually have to get drafted and approved and passed by Congress? And last time I checked, once again, isn't one of those chambers dominated by Democrats? Those same ones that we just voted in that said they want to save the world from COVID. And those same Democrats voted to implement and continue sanctions on countries that are poor and have zero. Bro, y'all know a lot of those sanctions are preventing countries from getting medicine. So great conversation, everybody. Loved it. Thoroughly loved it. By the way, I'm probably gonna use my other channel to do it. So I'm gonna start do it because everybody keeps asking me about the shroom stuff and about a bunch of other shit. And so I'm actually gonna start doing little short videos about like stuff like cyclobin and all this cool stuff like shadow work and astrology and things like that, because I feel like it's important. I think that the world needs to start understanding that all of these things are interconnected. Like, for example, this is just a theory, by the way, but it's probably right. Got it out of my little data bank here that I've never learned it, but for some reason it just popped up in my head when I was scrolling through my little data bank. Like astrology, for example, I believe that astrology is a science. And I'm not the only one. The Indian government does not make a single decision without consulting their like federal astrologer. Like you can get a PhD in astrology. Like it's like mathematical, surgical type of astrology, which would make sense, right? I mean, if it's a rainy day, you feel like shit. You got no energy to do anything. If it's sunny outside, I feel like I can go take over the world. Now imagine that one sun, but like within a measurable, like multiple stars, multiple suns within a measurable amount of energy the moment you're born, hit you while your DNA is the most malleable scientifically, or that's why they tell you don't put a head on a baby's head, right? Because you can create a dent because our DNA is that malleable when we're born. And that's not just physically, but chemically. And so you don't think of it as like, oh man, it's just telling me what kind of personality I have. That's not what it is. Astrology is an explanation of the way you process things chemically based off of the way you have taken in energy and how that energy has affected you. Now, the reason that people may want to, like the powers that be, let's call it the deep state, whatever, let's get into our conspiracy theorist mode. But the reason that the deep state would want to say everything astrology is stupid. I'm not talking about that bullshit astrology where you go to Yahoo horoscopes and be like, you're going to have a fucking fantastic day today. No, not that kind of astrology. I'm talking about like the real stuff. If you learn, like, because it's not like you can't fix your shortcomings. But imagine if there was a science that measures the way you process, and it helps you now, because obviously every zodiac sign, let's just talk about that, right? Because everybody knows that every zodiac sign has strengths. Imagine a science that helps you overcome your weaknesses and makes the playing field for humanity even. Think about it. If you could have all of the positives that you have and learn and train yourself out of the negative qualities you have as a reaction, like the visceral chemical reaction that you have based off the energy that you've taken and then and then that's how your brain processes it. It may not be the right way to process things, but it's because like it comes naturally to you. But we all know, like, English may not be your first language, but you practice it every single day, you can get good at it, or at least be able to understand it and communicate well enough to get your point across to get by. So people want to pretend like these are the people. Think about, science these are the same people who are trying to tell y'all IQ is actually the true measure of a person's intelligence. And it turned out they were wrong as shit. And the person who created that theory is a fucking racist. But back in the day, until they realized that they could use psychology to push certain narratives, they used to call psychology pseudoscience. Studying the brain. What? That's stupid. That's dumb. But when you cross over into the psychiatry side, what does it really come down to? Psychiatry is really the study and analysis of how your brain chemically processes things and how you manifest that outwardly. So we can accept that just certain traumas from single interactions over a certain amount of time can affect the way I just react to one thing. So the sun, just one sun that gives life to an entire solar system and can dictate whether or not I have energy to do shit that day, has and an infinite amount of that shit has zero effect on me as a bro. The moon can fuck with the tides, right? I mean, our planet is what, 90% water, 75% water, something like that. We're almost completely water. The moon can. How many of y'all was up the other night because of the full moon and are up every night, bruh? I make sure I got that loud pack on full moon month. We always be tracking full moons. Is it full moon day? Oh, guess we need to stop by a dispensary. Got to. Because I ain't going to go sleep that night. Why? Because the moon controls the ebbs and flows in our body as well, just like it controls the ebbs and flows of the ocean. Because the ocean is water and so is our body. It's the fact that we wouldn't research that to hell and back is counterintuitive to everything we know science to be and humanity to be. Unless there was some study done by the powers that be. They realized, man, people could, hell yeah, I got that medical card. People would get, not, I won't say an advantage. I'm not saying like if everybody got to study themselves, they would have an advantage. Like, let's be real, right? How many people are lazy sometimes. Like, don't assume that because you give people the tools that they're going to use those tools. But what it does is all of a sudden it evens out the playing field. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if it's a fact. All I know is it probably ain't fiction, and it's a question that we really have to start asking ourselves. And that's why I really want to do my channel, because a lot of these astrologists like the people, what do you call it? What's that side of the internet called, baby? Or what's that side of YouTube called? With the orb people, with all the Marianne Williamsons of that you be watching. What do they call themselves? What is that called? Like, is there like we got like political YouTube, lefty YouTube, bread tube, sports tube. No, ain't got a name. Well, that side of the YouTube orb gang, that's what I'm gonna call them. Shout out to Marianne Williamson. They have great understanding of self, really of the universe, how energy. They're very empathic, but to be able to see the world through that, and then all like politics, sociology, all the ways that the study of those things manifest into this world, and then reverse engineer it is something I feel like we are in dire need of. And this is frankly, most leftists are atheists. I am absolutely not atheist. I think it's actually stupid as shit to be an atheist, but that's neither here nor there. I don't want y'all to feel insulted, but I just think it's stupid as shit. Your logic is there's no proof that there's a God. Why not? I'm confused. Everything else has to be created. There's literally a creator for everything. Literally everything. Everything comes from something creating it. Not to mention the mathematical certainty, like the mathematical, accuracy that, like, just talking about like physics, like the accuracy that things have to be coded in order to get the result. It's like a computer, right? And we ourselves are computers. We're like cars. Why do you think we've never figured out how to make a car that can never die? Have we figured out the secret to eternal life yet? We have exhaust. We need fuel, right? You need to oil yourself up, keep yourself lubricated. Got to take care of your heart, your little car battery, your little engine. Got to make sure you take care of your pipes, your intestines, your joints, right? Which would be your like shocks and your, gotta take care of your hands and your feet, your wheels. But it's car's a machine. Why can't we make cars last forever? We don't even have the secret to eternal life. How are we gonna do that? Because that's all a car is. It's just us. That's where we got the idea for a car from. Think about it. So we don't even get our ideas from us. We just borrow from shit that's already created. That's already been done. A water faucet is a miniature waterfall. That's it. That's all. A spoon is just one of those leaves that they used to use back in the day. Chopsticks are literally sticks. Bro, we even make fake beaches. We even make fake sand. It came from something. I mean, I don't know if you want to call it a god. I call it omnigendered God. I know people say, some people call God like he. It would be more like, the odds of God being a he is 0, people. I just want y'all to know that. God is not even, just, no. We don't even have the ability to create life. So throw that shit out the window. We're not a God. Guys just would like to be God. They think they're God. It would more likely be a woman, but it's most likely that it is an omnigender. In other words, it is everything. And that makes sense. It's probably pretty smart too. I'm just saying. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning into this live stream, Mimosa Monday. I might do some more of that segment of MC Mimosa. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. We got a hell of a show tomorrow. We're gonna talk about the WHO trying to implement COVID vaccine certificates. We're gonna talk a little bit more about the Matthew McConaughey stuff in greater detail. Just a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tomorrow. Had a great time with you guys tonight. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I guess I should promote myself. Go to Rockfin, subscribe to us on Rockfin. If you want to support the show, you can do that. You can become, if you don't got Rockfin, you can also become a YouTube premium member as well. But prefer Rockfin because Rockfin's the shit. You can come to see us there. All right. You can also, I guess, support us on Patreon too. But support yourself first. Do your shadow work, people. Go home. Do your shadow work. That is your homework for the night. Do your goddamn shadow work. Figure out why you hate that person down the street who continues to hold you accountable. You know who it is. That person that holds you accountable that you be like, I don't like talking to them. You be running away from them, low key. Y'all all have people in your lives. We just be running away from them. You love them. You love talking to them. They make you a better person. But you just be running away from them. You get anxiety when it's time to talk to them. It's because they probably are the type of people in your life that hold you accountable, expect more from you than you expect from yourself, and you know it. Who expect that hold you to the virtues and ethos that you hold yourself to. But you don't want to be held accountable because your shadow wants to escape consequence. Everybody got somebody. Go do your shadow work, figure out what's going on, and always remember more than anything else, find your balance. Now you finally get it. Peace.